IVC, Dave, back with you. It's been a while since my last update. Most of you will be happy to know that this update mostly will consist of vinyl, some cassettes and CDs in here as well. Yeah, I made some interesting finds over the last couple of months or so. But, starting off with something which I picked up. Yeah, I paid a bit more for this than I would kind of in recent times. I haven't been spending big money on vinyl, but this is something that I've been looking for a long time. Quiet Sun, mainstream. This is basic. This came out in 1975, and this is basically a kind of well, basically it's got Brian Eno, Phil Manzanera. There's Charles Hayward, who's formerly of Gong, and then went on to be the drummer for or went on to be founder member of This Heat. Yeah, it's just got an absolutely Bill McCormick on bass. Yeah, it's just, yeah, this is an album that I've been looking for a long time. It's kind of, how to describe this, very much kind of experimental, kind of little bit of a Canterbury vibe to it. It's an original copy on Island Records, absolutely superb, clean copy. I did pay a little bit for this. Well, I spotted it in a second-hand seller of vinyl who might occasionally buy stuff off. So yeah, one I've been looking for a long time. Quiet Sun, mainstream. Yeah, from the same seller. This one didn't cost me so much. This was only €4, but yeah, this is a 12-inch EP by a group called the Shockheaded Peters. This came out in 1984 on a label called L. And the Shockheaded Peters were brainchild of a guy called what the hell is his name? Oh, Blake. Carl Blake. Sorry, just momentarily couldn't remember his name. Carl Blake, who previously was in a band called the Lemon Kittens, very much kind of in post-punk industrial, the kind of more experimental kind of art rock side of post-punk. He was in that group with Danielle Dax. This was a follow-up outfit which he formed in the early 80s, called Shockheaded Peters. How to describe this? This very much reminds me of, in places, of The Birthday Party, or kind of early Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, with a kind of slightly more, I don't know, weirder kind of a vibe. Yeah, so, oh, sorry, it's actually called, sorry, I forgot to tell you the name of this actual release. It is called I Blood Brother B. Actually, that's not the full title. The full title doesn't actually appear. It's got this weird long convoluted title, but I Blood Brother B is the main track on it. So yeah, but I got this fairly cheaply, but mainly because the cover has been kind of chewed upon, and there's a bit of water damage as well. But vinyl is nice and clean. Yeah, so yeah, this was a recent charity shop find. A band called the Dragon Rapide 2, or the Dragon Rapide. This is their their second album. This is a band from Leeds, kind of post-rock kind of thing. It is entirely instrumental. This came out in 2005. Love the artwork on this. I picked this up for €3. It's an okay album. I've listened to it a few times. Like, it's not mind blowing, and it's pretty good. It was worth grabbing it for that. You know, it's not a. I wasn't blown away by it or anything, but it's definitely worth grabbing for as much. Yeah. So if you're kind of a fan of that kind of instrumental, kind of post rock thing, yeah, it's worth checking out. Yeah, 2 charity shop finds from the other day. Yeah, this is one that doesn't need an introduction. I'm sure you're all familiar with this. Vangelis Chariots of Fire soundtrack. Picked this up for €2. 1981. Yeah, highly successful. One of his most one of his best known pieces, even by people even people who probably don't even know who Vangelis is will know the main title track from this. Yeah, it's very well known. But yeah, decent album. One that I've been meaning to pick up for a long time, but somehow just never gotten around to it. But now I have it. Also picked up this. This is Masterworks, classical masterpieces as you've never heard them before, an electronic adventure into the world of classics. This was released. This is an album from 1980. It's by largely synthesizer based. Synthesizers played by Richard Harvey. There's a massive list of the type of synthesizers that were used, and it's just like a list as long as your arm. This was quite cutting edge, I imagine, when it came out originally. And there's versions of Also Speak Zarathustra from 2001, Bolero, well known classical pieces given the kind of early 80s synthesizer treatment. It came out on K-Tel, which is this album isn't particularly rare or anything, but yeah, it's worth grabbing. Nice bit of kind of a fun listen, I suppose you could call it. I'm just going to show one CD. Yeah, Roger Doyle. My last video, I believe it was my last video anyway, I showed you this big haul of ex-library CDs, and among that were 2 albums by Roger Doyle. Roger Doyle, Irish avant-garde electronic composer, one of the leading kind of avant-garde composers to come out of this country. This I found, again, this is another charity shop find, which is €2, and I was amazed because generally he's very hard to find in the wild, and coming across 3 of his albums on CD in the space of a few weeks was unprecedented. This is called Fairlight Memories. This is basically a compilation compiling. It's basically compiling 2 cassette releases which he released in the late 80s. This is all music which was composed on a Fairlight synthesizer. All of these were recorded between 1983 to 1988. One is basically one set of recordings that recorded for a stage show, The Love of Don Perpelin and Belisa in the Garden. and the contents of the page are was the second one. So it's a double CD. Yeah, it does have that very much kind of Fairlight 80s kind of feel. So yeah, I really do like this double CD. As I said, it's very hard to find his stuff in the wild. I also made some nice cassette finds in charity shops. I found this the other day for 20 cents. Whole, Lived Through This. Courtney Love. This came out in 1994. Yeah, really do love this album. I remember it well when it came out and the tracks on it. This is something I picked up for free. Roxy Music, Flesh and Blood. I picked it up in a charity shop, went to pay for it, and the woman at the counter just waved me away and said, "Oh, that's okay, it's only a cassette." So I got it for free. This came out in 1980, this one. I have this on vinyl as well. Not their best album, but still, you know, get it for free. Yeah, I made a big charity shop haul. I'm not going to show everything that I picked up, but I'll just go through some of the stuff. Yeah, these are all 20 cents each. Most of these are pirate tapes, mostly from either Poland or Indonesia. They're all 20 cents. This is one of the few legitimate releases. Grace Jones Nightclubbing, absolute classic album from 1981. Again, I also had this on vinyl, but I just was not passing this up. I love this album. David Bowie, what's it called again? Let's Dance from 83. This is a pirate edition. I think this is Polish, I'm not exactly sure. Sound quality isn't great on those pirate tapes, by the way. Blondie, Parallel Lines. More Blondie there again. Ricky Lee Jones, the magazine. I haven't actually listened to this one yet. Yeah, there's a few more as well. Not going to go through all of them. Moody Blues, Out of This World. Yeah, so that's it. I'll leave that leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed it, and big shout out to everybody in the VC. So I'll talk to you next time.